Hey guys, good morning. It's Jarrett. It's Sunday morning over here at the Smith household, and today we're kind of running a little bit low on groceries. And so, although it's not my favorite thing to make for breakfast, I'm going to do a smoothie. And normally I'm not real hot on smoothies for a couple of reasons. One, I think you sort of unwittingly tend to make them into milkshakes. You know, if you throw in a couple of bananas and some strawberries and a little honey to sweeten it up and that sort of thing, you end up with just like this big sugar bomb. And then the other thing is that, you know, whether you think about it this way or not, when you blend it all up, you really are processing the food. And so it kind of hits your mouth already pre-processed. And that means when it gets into your digestion, generally it's going to, the sugar and whatnot is going to be absorbed a lot faster. So, you know, as a general rule, I say, hey, let's kind of stay away from things like smoothies. Let's stick with whole, real food. But you know what? Today, it's what we've got in the house, and so this is what I'm going to make. So let me show you kind of what we're going to do this morning for our not really paleo, but hopefully we're not going too far off the reservation kind of smoothie. Got a couple of ingredients here, and the idea here is I'm just trying to keep it fairly low carb, trying not to turn this into a sugar bomb that I'm going to be ashamed of later. So I've got about a cup's worth of frozen blueberries here. Like blueberries because, you know, for like a cup of these guys, it's only like 17 grams of carb, got good nutrition, and yeah, so we're a big fan of the blueberries. Also over here I have some whey protein powder. This definitely is off reservation if you're going strict paleo, but again, I really, you know, need protein for this, and this is kind of what I've got on hand. So I kind of measured this out. This is like a scoop and a half of my favorite protein powder, and I think that probably adds up to about 35 grams of protein, which is pretty solid for breakfast. The secret ingredient to this little smoothie, though, is my favorite, coconut milk. And this stuff is good source of fat. And don't freak out. If you read the label, it'll say it's got all sorts of saturated fat in it. But if you're a fan of Rob Wolf, you know that the saturated fat in coconut milk is, I don't know, what is it, medium chain or something like that. It's processed a little different than you know, the saturated fat you get from animals. And if you've been reading my blog, you know, probably not going to freak out about saturated fat too much. Anyhow, this is going to give it like a nice sort of rich taste, and definitely will give your brain the signal that you've had a lot of, you know, nutrition, and you can kind of give you that feeling of satiety, if I pronounce that right. And then the other ingredient in here, this is kind of definitely, I think, sort of off reservation too for paleo. This is almond milk, and just kind of using it more for consistency than anything else, so we don't end up with this like thick blob stuck in the bottom of the blender here. I'm not really a fan of almond milk, I guess just because, I mean, almonds don't have nipples, right? So you can't milk them. And so clearly this is a product that, you know, would not exist in nature. You know, coconut milk, well, it's kind of processed too, but this is a couple of steps removed from that. And it's got, if you read the ingredients here, big fan of reading ingredients, it says evaporated cane juice, which is just a really kind of hippie, natural way of saying sugar. This isn't too bad, though. I think for a cup, it's got 8 grams of sugar in it, which is not horrible. I'm only going to try and use like half a cup, so hopefully we're not going to go overboard with that stuff. So, anyways, this is just basic smoothie stuff. You know how this rolls. So we're going to throw in our blueberries. Got to do all this one-handed. I need a camera person. We'll throw in our protein powder, some delicious coconut milk. This is probably like 3/4 of a cup. Right. And then we'll do our almond milk here. And then we're going to blend this sucker up. Okay, so there we are. We're all blended, and look, I magically have a glass over here that appeared. And let's take it and pour this up. And we're ready to roll. So here's like a fairly low-ish carb, fairly high fat actually, smoothie. and it's got plenty of protein, plenty of fat, some reasonable amount of carbs. It's not a total sugar bomb. And, although I wouldn't make a steady diet of this kind of stuff, it's not too bad. I wouldn't feel too bad about consuming one of these just every once in a while. So, guys, hope you enjoyed our little smoothie thing, and we'll see you later. Bye.